It's a calm morning. It's going to be warm today. If this cloud breaks, it's going to be hot. So get the polytunnel door open and see what needs to be done this morning. I'm only over here for a few minutes and there's definitely some raspberries to be picked. But I'm a bit tempted just to tie up a few of those tomatoes because boy, are they growing. I'll get in and show you. Vegetable peelings for the chickens. That's got to be done too. As you can see, tomato growth in here is really good. And we're 6th of July and I planted my tomatoes relatively late. I can't remember exactly when. I need to go back and have a look at the video, but I know people have remarked that I was quite a lot later with my tomatoes. And today I can see the first ripe tomato on my Lata bush. And that one will soon be ready for picking. And I think there might be one that's nearing picking on this bush. This is a super sweet. So we're getting to that point where tomatoes will soon be coming off the vines, which is marvellous. And I looked at these and thought, it's a bit disappointing I can't see much in the way of tomatoes and a lot of foliage. But then I noticed under here, look at those beauties. And there's quite a few of them. And these Roma tomatoes, they seem to grow the tomato fruit quite close to the stem, which is interesting. Look at those carrots coming along, beautiful. Right, I've got a few of these branches to tie in. They're starting to lean over a bit and I'm going to try and bring a few of them upright and just keep control of the space that they occupy. You can see down here, if I'm not careful before long, this walkway will be a tomato alley. So I'm going to tie a few in right now. There we go, that's job done. And a single cane is proving to be sufficient when you tie the tomatoes in from their branches as they splay out. It seems to pull in all directions, giving it a great deal of rigidity, which is fantastic. So there's lots more to tie up around the plot. I know the beans need doing, and I know that the sprouts will soon need to be tied up. So there's quite a bit to do, but we're getting on well. Right, raspberries. The thing is, was Mrs. K being a bit optimistic when she gave me this to fill with raspberries? We only harvested 2 days ago. Well, we'll see. Well, I should have known. She judged it perfectly. Well, not quite. I couldn't put any more in because it absolutely filled the tub. I'll tell you what, raspberries took about a prolific crop. And when you think that I moved those back end of April and they're still fruiting so well, just fantastic value for money. If you can grow raspberries, I'd recommend it. Good times. It's so hot. Well, we keep on about wanting a dry period without any rain. We've got it. And now we'd like some rain. We're just never satisfied. But that's the way of gardening. I've got a real highlight to show you. Come and have a look at this. So I thought it was going to be white because it looked white, but it's not. It's pink. Just look at that, with its yellow center. Absolutely amazing. Well, let's hope this lily expands and flourishes in the pond. It certainly looks like it's enjoying its time there. Well, I took a look at the red currants and the majority of them now are ready to pick. It's just a few on each cluster that are not quite ready, but I think it's any day now. There's going to be a mammoth picking session on the allotment. I'm going to have Mrs. K's help for that, for sure, because it takes flipping ages to pick red currants. Even with those funny rakey devices, we just prefer to grab a hold of a stalk and take the whole lot off and then deal with it at home. But yeah, they're looking great. Tasting good as well. When I was watering my beans last night, in fact I watered the whole plot. We don't have mains water over here, but I dropped my water pump into this IBC and then connected it up with my hose, which stretches a pretty long way, and managed to water the whole plot. But I noticed last night I really got to sort out these wandering bean tops, because they're just pointing in the wrong direction. So I'm going to do a bit of tying up here as well, I think. See if I can get this going in the right direction. That gives them all a fighting chance, and you probably couldn't see close up on the time lapse, but basically it's just a really light loop that I've tied around most of these just to keep them going in the right direction, and then as they grow and the stems thicken, they won't be inhibited by the string. And if I see that they get really clamped down, I can soon clip the string and let the stem go. So that's the beans pretty much on the way up. In fact, that one has made it to the top, and there's one there at the top and also one there at the top. So things are going well, and a little bit of watering in this hot weather is a great help for these beans, although you need to do it when there isn't direct sunlight on them. So early morning or early evening. Well, we're getting a little bit of cloud cover now, and this bed is just desperate. I always say that alliums can't really tolerate weeds very well, and this one, well, I've neglected it. So I'm just going to get the cover off and get these weeds out of here ASAP. Right, let's get underway. Well, that didn't take very long. And now I can see the leeks. And we've got a few missing. We've got one missing there, or two. One missing there. One missing here. Look what was lurking in the leeks. That is a tomato seed that is, well, I think call them a volunteer. And it's doing really well. It's looking really healthy. So I just didn't have the heart to take it out. After all, it could be the house variety and stay really small. That'd be marvellous if it does. What else we've got? One missing there, one there, and probably one there. So all in all, there's about, I don't know, say 10 short of what I planted, but that's fine, that's plenty. And they're looking pretty healthy. There's a few small ones, but most of them thickened up nicely and well underway for the season. I'll give them a good water tonight, and I won't be watering weeds. I'll just be watering leeks. Good times. I was looking at these sprouts thinking I'd need to tie them up, but actually they're growing fairly straight and quite strong at the moment, so I don't think I'm going to restrict them at all. What I have come across is a bit of a disaster day over here. Let me show you. So all those weeks where these were, well, sort of looking after themselves, all of a sudden, of course, we've had 2 or 3 really warm days, and well, I didn't water them last night, and that's what happens. So I need to give them a bit of an emergency water, and we'll see if they're stood back up tomorrow. They're actually coming on very well, and we've got a few flowers we're starting to form, so they won't be far off being ready, but I think I want to keep them going for as long as possible. So a bit of an emergency water right here. Well, hopefully I've caught them in time. There's a real downside to that happening with your potatoes, and that is that irregular watering can, well, further the extent of scab, which of course is undesirable in potatoes. So fingers crossed I will have caught those. I used a bit of gravity on my side from the water butt up there, which really helped. Right, I'll get this away now, and we'll keep an eye on those, make sure they're okay. While I've been looking at this, I seriously need to get in there and sort things out. But looking at the amount of stinging nettles and blackberries, and the fact that I've not got trousers on, I'm thinking not today. It's definitely a job for a morning in the cool with some trousers on and some gauntlets. Look at that! Cabbage white butterfly inside the nets. Everything you do, look away. Look at that, 2 of them. I'm going to deal with these off camera. See you later. Well, 10 minutes later, and the only way to get those sorted was to unhitch the front of my net, but they're out now. That's the main thing. A bit breathless. If it looked hot outside, I can't imagine what it is in here. What does it say? 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's get that in good old centigrade. 35.1 degrees centigrade. And it's been a maximum of 50 in here. That gives you some idea of the heat. And I've been watering this at night. I'm thinking with this heat, I probably need to water it first thing in the morning as well. I think that'll help. But the tomatoes are certainly loving the warmth, and that red tomato is now really colouring up. Soon be eating that one. And I had one in there, and it's now a cluster of ripening tomatoes, which is fantastic. Right, I think that's me done for today. It's been a warm one, but an enjoyable one. As one of our subscribers said, it's sort of weed and water at this time of year, and that's really important stuff. Well, I hope you've had a good week in the garden and that you've enjoyed my video. And if you had, why not like and subscribe? And if you want to get my updates, click on the bell up there in the top, and you'll get them every Wednesday and every Sunday at 8 p.m. Diolch yn fawr.